It's a rough and tumble today. Carnival Cruise Line coming out strong saying if you want to keep doing this thing that's probably done on every cruise, we'll straight up ban you. How about that? Norwegian Cruise Line in a fight with the government in Hawaii over how much money they want to charge cruisers to come to Hawaii. Yeah. And we got a retiree that got denied boarding on a cruise ship and lost all of his money. And the cruise line saying tough. It's tumultuous. It's tumultuous on today's episode. That plus a whole lot more. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I am your host, Tony, here to talk you through everything going on in cruising. And let's talk about the strong arm of Carnival getting ready to drop the ban hammer on some people who smuggle alcohol on board. Dun, 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 dun. This is a long practice when it comes to cruising. Cruise companies, they have drink packages that are somewhat expensive. They'll sell you a bottle of alcohol, which is somewhat expensive. And some people say they're not going to do that. Instead of doing that, they're going to find ways to sneak liquor on board. And well, unsurprisingly, that practice is against the rules. Now, in the past, what I've heard happens to people who sneak alcohol on board, if it is discovered, it'll just be removed. Like if they're sneaking it in their bag, they'll just take it out and they'll get a little letter saying that you got some contraband taken out of your bag. Well, now Carnival Cruise Line is saying, nope, those days are over. If we catch you sneaking alcohol on board, we will ask you not to cruise with Carnival Cruise Line anymore. You will be banned, banished, pushed to the netherworld. You'll be forced to cruise with old people on Holland America. Now, I would assume that if you get banned on one Carnival brand, you'll get banned on all of them. You'll be forced to sail with other people on Royal Caribbean or kids on Disney or something. I don't know. And probably one of the most interesting things about this story is Carnival is saying that they're actively monitoring social media channels where people love to go and self-incriminate. It's the craziest thing ever. You get people on there like, I'm sneaking alcohol on board. This is how I'm doing it. Check it out. I'm the coolest. Da, 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 da. Carnival is watching. They are checking it out. And they say if they realize that it's on a current cruise, they will go to the cabin and confiscate everything and then ask people not to cruise with them anymore. So I guess let this serve as a warning, all of you alcohol sneakers. Carnival ain't having none of it. You risk being banned forever on Carnival Cruise Line. It finally happened. The CDC has laid off all of its cruise ship inspectors. There's a big right sizing. Don't you love that corporate speak? There's a big right sizing going on in many facets of the United States government, and the CDC has eliminated all of its inspectors. And certainly that sounds bad when you hear it that way, but it's not to suggest that the job won't still be done. There are public officials that are not getting laid off that will now be tasked to do the cruise ship inspection and monitoring part. So yeah, they're cutting some people out, making some. That's the other thing that always sucked about corporate work. They would right size, and then they would give the people that they didn't let go more work. So that always was not fun. So yeah, there's some government workers out there that are now getting more work and some government workers that are now being laid off. The interesting thing is a lot of those workers that they laid off from the CDC in relation to the vessel sanitation program weren't even being paid by the government. They were being paid by funds that are collected from the cruise line. But I guess, I don't know, it's convoluted, but either way, neither here nor there. Let's talk about something else. Forget the government for a little bit. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the port of New Orleans. They are excited, cawing the fact that they have had their best March ever. They serviced 165,000 passengers in the month of March, Port of New Orleans, and that's a new record. The last record was 155,000 cruise passengers. They just keep breaking records down there in New Orleans. Last year, they had a record-breaking year of 1.2 million passenger movements. I've sailed out of New Orleans right there on the Mississippi. Not a bad port at all. Have you ever sailed out of New Orleans? Leave a comment below. Now let's talk about this fight that is brewing over in Hawaii. In Hawaii. Lawmakers in Hawaii do not think that cruise lines and cruise passengers are paying their fair share to be able to take in the beauty of Hawaii. They want to treat cruise ships like hotel rooms. They want to either add a $20 per stop fee per passenger for the Hawaiian port. So if you have 5 ports there, you got to pay $100 extra, or a 11% tax on cruise ship cabins to make cruisers pay their fair share. The lawmakers are essentially saying that the cruise ships should be treated like hotel rooms, and those are the fees and the taxes that they lay out for people that are staying in hotel rooms. And well, of course, the cruise ships are saying, well, we ain't hotel rooms. We're governed by a whole different set of systems under the U.S. Constitution, particularly how to treat maritime vessels, and laying these extra hotel-type taxes on maritime vessels is unconstitutional. The lawmakers say, well, okay, but we're going to do it anyways. And the cruise lines are saying, well, unlike a hotel, our thing moves around. So if you mess around with us too much, we just won't come to Hawaii. How about that? Norwegian Cruise Line saying they may even sue if these taxes get put in place. And they've got a ship that sails around all the time in Hawaii, the Pride of America. It's like the only U.S. flagged vessel in the whole global fleet of cruise ships. That'd be wild if all of a sudden the only U.S. flagged vessel in the whole global cruise fleet went, okay, I'm not gonna go to Hawaii. I'm not gonna stay in Hawaii. I'll tell you what I think, cruising's expensive enough. And if you've already negotiated port fees with cruise lines, cruise ports, quit asking for more money. I get why you do it, but I don't like it. So, especially if you've already established a business model of the money that you're going to get from cruising coming from port fees and taxes and stuff like that. All these places making up new tax. Stop it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Well, people can do what I don't care. They can do what they want, but as a cruiser, I don't like it. I like the current system. Now, I got to tell you about this retiree that got denied boarding on a cruise ship. Cost him a lot of money. But before I do that, I want to hit you with a dance break. Let's dance break. Get up. Get up. Go. Dance. Did you dance? You can dance if you want to. If you don't, nobody will. And if you're going to dance, shout out Ludacris. Okay, here we go. There's a 78-year-old dude, David Hornsby. He flew 10,700 miles from Southampton in the UK all the way to Sydney, Australia. He landed in Sydney, Australia to get on a cruise on the Cunard Queen Elizabeth. And when he went to get on that cruise, he was denied boarding because he had a damaged passport. That's what they told him at the cruise terminal. Your passport is damaged and we cannot accept it. And the guy was like, well, I don't know if you know this, but I just flew all the way from the UK to Sydney. I had to stop in Indonesia. They checked my passport in the UK. They checked my passport in Indonesia. They checked my passport when I came into Australia. And it was all good. What seems to be the problem? Now, there is some damage to the dude's passport. There's, it's coming apart in a certain area and the page is lifted up. That's not being contested, but I guess the officials at the cruise terminal say, hey, that's enough damage to deny you boarding on the cruise ship. This cruise is going to Singapore and they've got very strict rules about damaged passports, and so your damaged passport's a no-go. It's crazy. The guy paid $7,800 for his cruise. He's denied boarding, so he pays another close to $1,000 to fly back to the UK. He uses the passport that they wouldn't take on the cruise to fly back to the UK with no problem. And he's just upset. Like, he sent enough emails to Cunard that they're like, we're not going to email you anymore. Cunard did release a statement saying, tough, look, it was determined by the port officials in Sydney that this man's passport was damaged in a way that was unacceptable. And that's all it is. We don't give refunds for that. And because it was a denial there by the officials, they should look at their cruise insurance to get some money back, but we ain't giving no money back. I guess that's a cautionary tale that even though, you might be able to get some stuff done with your passport, not everybody's going to take it if it's damaged or slightly damaged. So take care of your documentation. Just a reminder, if you want to stay up to date with everything going on in cruising, don't forget to subscribe. Hey, dramatic pause. Watch this video next. Tony for La Lido Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido.